praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also Shalom to the other sincere followers of this truth. All right, so today is going to be another reading of Psalm, the 83rd chapter, but it's going to be in the Good News translation. All right. Lord willing, the next video will be in the King James 1611 to get a few precepts and a little bit more understanding on some things that are spoken about in Psalms the 83rd chapter. So before I get started, again, I want to reiterate that we have to come out of the mind state of being in America. All right. The focus of most of these videos nowadays is on America, because this is Babylon the Great. All right. It is also the future site of the lake of fire. All right. And only 1/3 of Israelites are going to get delivered out of here in a great way. But outside of Israelites, no one is going to come out of this place alive. All right. Everyone is going to get melted outside of 1/3 of Israelites. Who are Israelites? All right. They are the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans. And after that, they are Israelites that were scattered into all nations of this earth. All right. So we can look like all shapes, colors, forms. All right. All shapes, colors, sizes. All right. So this is not a black thing, but that's not to say that color won't push someone out of this. This truth is also a filtering process. All right. To show if someone has understanding, has listening skills, studies, reads. All right. If you are pricked by what you heard about the Israelites being so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, all right, and you shut the thing off, you'll miss the part about the innumerable multitude, which are believers. They are Israelites, don't get me wrong, but we can look like any other nation, because that's where we were scattered for going off, for not listening, not taking heed to, and not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. All right. All right. For the most part, I don't know if that's explained. I mean, it's explained. Don't get me wrong, but to lead off with that, all right, is kind of is a filtering process. A lot of people will shut it off after hearing that, thinking that they got the whole understanding because they listened to 5 seconds of a video, 10 seconds of a video. All right, that goes into this now. Being in this country, or any country for that matter, thinking that your language is the end all be all. All right. So when you read something in English, you think you got it. You think you have the whole understanding because you think, since you speak English, that you have the understanding. But a lot of people don't even understand the English language. That's full of confusion also, the English language. All right. But in these scriptures, if you are in the Old Testament, you need to go back to the Hebrew words and get the etymology of these words. If you're in the New Testament, go back to the Greek. Get the etymology of these words. Okay? And us being the remnant, Lord willing, I am of that number. All right? We know that the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Apocrypha, which was a part of the Bible, but someone decided to take it out, all right, is all one testament. When it was written on the scrolls, it was one testament. Okay? So you can't believe in the old, disregard the new. You can't believe in the new, disregard the old, and you can't shut out the Apocrypha. Okay? They're all one testament. But you won't know that unless you read, study, listen, all right, and repeat that cycle until the Lord comes back. All right? Grow in spirit to the best of your ability. No one can do these laws 100%. No one can. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't do these laws 100%. The goal is to do them to the best of your ability. All right? Your faith will have you chasing after the law to do it 100% to the best of your ability. And doing the law will build your faith. All right? These laws give life. If you follow them, they give life, man. So I don't know why someone would argue about the laws when they follow these worldly laws that bring death. All right? Everything about this world brings death. This is not our kingdom. The food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe brings death because of whose kingdom it is, the wicked. All right? So I could go on and on about that, but let's go ahead and... Why am I reading Psalm 83? Before I go to that, though, we want to go into these English words. What did I mean by what I said about knowing English is not the end-all, be-all? All right? In the Apocrypha, in the book of Ecclesiasticus, there's a prologue. All right? You can read the whole prologue. There's nothing wrong with reading all of the Apocrypha. You should read the whole Apocrypha. You should read the whole Bible, okay? But I'm going to go straight to the point because of time, all right? Just to get the point across. So, now you have to listen now, all right? By the way, it's another beautiful rainy day, all right? It's a beautiful rainy day. Somewhere there is a seed growing because of this rain that the Lord is giving, not no Mother Nature, all right? The Lord is doing all this. Anyway, so the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, all right, I'm going straight to the point. It says, "Wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself, and the prophets, and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language." All right? So you have to go deeper than just the English. Speaking to you Israelites whose main language is English, you can't pick up this book, read it in English, and think that you have the whole understanding. As a matter of fact, you're going to miss out on most of the understanding if you only read this thing in English without going deeper than that. All right? That's the point. If you love the Lord, right, you're going to search. He told you that. He didn't keep that secret from you. Okay? You have to read, study, listen. All right? He told you that. He told all of us that. Now, let's do this again in the Good News. I'm going to read the same thing in the Good News translation. Now, all of these translations can go off. All of them. The Good News translation, the New Living translations, and I'm naming these because this is what I read mostly on this channel. So the Good News all translations can go off. Even the King James, which is the closest thing to the Hebrew. Even that can go off. But if you have a foundation, if you listen good, if you study, if you read, do all of this, repetition in all of that, you will be able to spot where it goes off. All right? Why is that? Because the Lord lights the path. Hold on now. Let me go. In the Good News translation, the book of Ecclesiasticus is known as the book of Sirach. It's called the book of Sirach. All right? Sirach. All right. Sirach. Now let's see what that says, that prologue. Let's go to that prologue and get that same point. All right. I hope it's not too dark in here that you guys can see. If not, I'm gonna have to turn this around and get some light in here. It is darkening up outside, but I hope there's enough light coming in here. And even if there isn't, even if you can't see me, listen. All right. You can listen to these things without seeing me. All right. You don't have to see me right now. Okay. So, in the Good News Translation, the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha, all right, it reads, "Let me urge you then to read this book carefully and with an open mind, and please be patient in those places where, in spite of all my diligent efforts, I may not have translated some phrases very well. What was originally written in Hebrew does not always have exactly the same sense when it is translated into another language. That is true not only of this book, but even of the law itself, the prophets, and the other books. The translations differ quite a bit from the original." So, knowing that all these things can go off, does that mean you ignore these books? No. What happens, why do we go into these books, is because sometimes these different translations can speak more clearly in the English, all right? It can go straight to the point in English in a more understandable way, okay? Which helps your laziness. If you don't want to go into the meanings of these words, sometimes, all right? Sometimes it can speak more clearly to where you will get the ideal that is trying to be, or the truth that's trying to come through the scriptures, all right? Some of these will hit the nail on the head, all right, when it comes to stating what it states in English, okay? That's why you're not supposed to be chased away from these things knowing that they go off. Otherwise, you wouldn't even read the King James, because like I stated, it can sometimes go off too. That doesn't mean you ignore it. That means you dig and get your foundation and go back, all right? But these are the only things you need are these scriptures, the Bible, all right? These other books, you know how many books people have written? How many books are there out there? All you need are these books, the Bible, all right? The Bible, that's it. All right, and it's one book, really. What I'm saying is all you need is the scriptures. All you need is the Bible, okay? So, what else was I going to say? The more you get your foundation, all right, and I'm going to read this in the Good News Translation, all right? So, excuse me. The more you get your foundation, the more you will know that these things are faithful and true, all right? As a matter of fact, it is getting dark in here, and I can't tell if you can see me. So just to help that out, I'm going to turn this light on, and we'll go from there. Give me a second. This thing don't want to pause. Hold on, man. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. You might even have a view of the outside. It's about to start coming down here in a second. Yeah, it's coming down now. Might have to shut this door. Hold on, man. Beautiful. All right. Shut this dang door though. Yeah, it's blowing in here a little bit too tough. All right, hold on a second. All right, I apologize for that. I'm gonna have to watch this video back and maybe start it all over. Anyway, so where were we? Give me a second. Oh, okay. So, yeah, the more you read these scriptures, the more you'll know that everything in here is faithful and true. Okay. Um, even things that were taken out and put in, because it points to who did this, why they did this. Okay. So you even have to pay attention to the things that are off in here, because it points to other things that are in the scriptures. All right. And other historical facts that will coincide with these scriptures. All right. The scriptures don't need anything to help them. All right. You just need to go search things out. So history proves to be on the side of the scriptures also. All right. So everything that was taken out or put in, okay, the Lord did that. All right. You just have to figure out why, who, where. You know what I mean? And having a foundation will help you. Okay. When you're on that mission. All right. When you're on that mission to find these things. All right. Okay. So let me get to one warning. We are told to warn, to give warning to the sincere, or to those who will take heed. All right. Which are the remnant of Israel. 1/3 of Israel. All right. Again, Lord willing, I am of that number. All right. But amongst all these warnings in here, oh, and usually warnings come before something terrible. All right. You don't usually get a warning right before something good. All right. You have to, where something terrible is on the horizon of this place. All right. Something very terrible. Now, on the other side of that terrible is what's good, but that good news, that gospel, is only for the remnant. But so is this trouble. This trouble is coming, and we're all going to be in it. No one is going to miss this trouble that's coming, all right, unless the Lord takes you off this earth, but beforehand. But even if you are of the remnant, if you aren't taken off the earth, you are going to go through this trouble, all right? We don't know how long we're going to be in this trouble. The Lord is going to save us out of trouble, but in order to get saved out of trouble, we have to go in trouble first, all right? We have to be in trouble. Anyway, one of these warnings, let me go to one of these warnings. Revelation 13, because this is coming. This is already on the earth, all right? Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17. This is the good news translation, all right? All right, Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 and 17 in the good news. It reads, the beast forced all the people, small and great, all right? The beast that it speaks of is this system, this evil man, all right, and his system, okay? The beast, again, I'm going to start all over at the top. Revelation 13 and 16. The beast forced all the people, small and great, rich and poor, slave and free, to have a mark placed on their right hands or in their foreheads. Verse 17. No one could buy or sell without this mark. That is the beast's name or the number that stands for the name. All right. So if you take this, okay, I said it's already on the earth. Now listen up. It's a micro C hip. Put that together. The letter C plus hip. All right. The micro C hip. All right. There's a thing in the earth right now. People have already had it. They already got it anyway. All right. And they're going to start pushing this thing harder, just like they did with the C-19 in the arm. All right. You remember that thing in the arm that you kept having to go back for, that people are still going back for, even though they're admitting that this thing is harmful. Anyway, so that thing, the C hip, the mark of the beast that's in what I just read, all right? They're going to put it in your hand or in your forehead. Now don't be too simple and think that this is just your hand right here. Right? Your hand is anywhere from this up to your shoulder. And it doesn't have to be in the right hand, it can be in the left. Just don't get this thing inside of you, all right? And the Lord's men won't, all right? Also, the thing in the head. Now, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Well, I'm not going to even assume that. So, this neural link, all right? A C hip in the head, okay? And don't think that it has to be right in the fucking center of your forehead. It can be anywhere in your head, okay? These things are already on the earth. So, does that mean that this prophecy is past already? No. Because what did it say? It says in 16, in the Good News translation of Revelation 13 and 16, the beast forced. In the King James, it says, he causeth all. All right? So this thing has to be mandated. It has to be forced on the whole world. That's the difference. Yes, it is in the earth, but it hasn't been mandated yet. It hasn't been made mandatory for you to go eat, for you to provide for your children, your home. Okay? But that is coming. This is coming. These things are faithful and true. Now, even though you got the Lord's men down here telling you that, there's still going to be idiots running around here talking about they didn't know. Why didn't anyone tell them? All right? We've been telling you. Okay? But you didn't listen. You didn't read. You didn't study. You didn't listen. I'll say that again. All right? The Lord didn't want you to. The Lord didn't want you. All right? Period. That's what it boils down to. This isn't us doing this to you. Okay? All right? These are the Lord's words. These are the Lord's words that we're telling you. It's not something that we're making up. All right? So that's just an example of one of the warnings. And that thing is right around the corner, so you better start paying attention. Especially if you're trusting in these people. You better stop it, because all they've done is let you down, unless you are one of them. All right? And even if you are one of them, there's going to be infighting. Y'all going to fight. Your plan ain't going to come to fruition, for one. And the Lord's going to come back, and he's going to do some damage to you. You don't have to worry about us, because our teachers don't teach to do violence. That's not to say that the Lord isn't going to give us some powers in the end and tell us to go ahead in the spirit, you know what I'm saying? After we are taken out of this place, then we'll come back down here, that New Jerusalem. Then it might be a different story. The Lord might tell us to go ahead and do whatever, all right? But you don't have to worry about that unless you are outside of the remnant. Now, how do you know if you're inside or outside of the remnant? Get into these scriptures. Find out what path you have been walking and what you are still walking. That's more important. What path are you still walking after hearing this truth? All right, you have time to repent as far as the timing of the recording of this video goes. All right, you have time to search for the Lord while he can still be found. All right, repent and return to your first love, which is this, the Lord, all right, Yahweh, which is whom the world ignorantly calls God, all right. His name is not God, his name is Yahweh. And his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. His name is not Jesus, it is Yahweh Shai. That is a Hebrew name, all right. It's not no damn Jesus or anything else. I'm not going to run down the name list. All right. So now, why am I reading Psalm, the 83rd chapter? All right, because in a series that I did before these readings of Psalm 83, okay, it was called Choose Affliction, all right, over sin for a season. All right, and what do I mean is choose the affliction that we go through now. All right, we aren't living top lives. As a matter of fact, even when you choose affliction, all right, even if you do have a little bit of money, in the spirit, we are not living. Our spirit is hurting. All right, it's hurting. All right, it's been ran down, tortured. Okay, because of this place. All right, no matter how much money you got. All right. So choose to stay that way. Don't choose to go do things against your spirit just to live lavish in this world. All right, choose affliction over sin for a season, because all of these things put you on the boulevard of broke dreams. All right, if you live for this world, if you live in this world, if you are worldly, your dreams are going to get broken. Believe me, just take my word for it, man. How do I know that? Because the scriptures tell me that. The teachers told me that. I went and looked, researched, read up, and yes, they point to that. If you are living for this world, you are on the boulevard of broke dreams. Your dreams are going to be broken. Okay? Destroyed. So choose affliction, man. Don't covet anything in this world. Put that shit away. Okay? Come back to these old paths. The ones that we used to walk when we were the closest to the Lord, all right? They call this being brought back into remembrance. Okay? If you find out that you are an Israelite, you were the children of the sons of God, the sons of Adam, okay? Come back to that. Come back to that, man. So, anyway, I keep going off from this lesson. But, so why am I reading Psalm 83? Because I mentioned in those other series, all right? I mentioned it. And this is what was stated in that other series, all right? All of these other nations outside of Israelites, all right, outside of Israel. And Israel is a people before it is a place. These motherfuckers over there are fooling everybody because they live over there. So they must be the people, right? Since they live over there. No, that's not how it works, man. Now, are some of them Israelites? Yes, because we are scattered into all the world, okay? Anyway, all of these other nations have worked hand in hand in making sure that our name would be removed from the earth. That is the mission. That has been the mission. And it's working, right? It's working. But it won't work to completion. Okay? So we can read about this in the book of Psalm, the 83rd chapter. And that's why I'm reading Psalm 83. All right? Uh, it is very vexing, all right, when you see that almost 9 billion other souls are working against the remnant. And then, since this is the comforter, the spirit, all right, the spirit that comes down here, the spirit of understanding, knowledge, and truth, all right, is the comforter. When you start to realize these things, it calms you down. Because this is what was written. It's supposed to go this way. All right, this is how it is supposed to be. All right, and at the beginning, I was a little agitated. But now saying that out loud, even, it calms you, it comforts you. All right. So for the people who aren't going to listen, or for the people who are just going to listen to steal bits and pieces and go make another doctrine around it, all right, or for the people who are just going to listen for entertainment and turn this off and forget about it, you were meant to do that. You were actually meant to do that. And actually, it's going to be used as a testimony against you. We don't know what you're doing on the other side of the camera, right? But the Lord does. Okay? The Lord does. That is who this is all about. Okay? He sees you. You only fear the eyes of men, not knowing that the Lord's, just paraphrasing now, all right? All right? Not knowing that the Lord's, let me see, what does it say? Hold on, let me think about this. I can't even think of it to paraphrase it enough. But the Lord's eyes are brighter than 1,000 suns or something like that. But he sees you, man, basically. He sees you. That's the point in that. You can fool men, you can hide from men. All right, you can do things in secret from men, but you can't do that from the Lord, man. So everything you do, especially after hearing this truth, all right, the Lord knows it. He sees it, man. He's seen it before hearing this truth, but that is what gets you. That is what convicts you. That is what is going to be used as a testimony against you. All right. But like I said, right now you have time to repent. As far as the recording of this video, I think. Okay. So come back to this. All right. All right. So let's go. I'm reading the Good News translation of Psalm, the 83rd chapter. All right. The title, the heading of Psalm, the 83rd chapter in the Good News translation is A Prayer for the Defeat of Israel's Enemies. All right. Oh, a couple more things before I start reading. You cannot jump in to the middle video of a series, which all of them are numbered. At the end of the title, they are all numbered on this channel. Okay. You can't jump into the middle of a series, in the middle of that video, and think that you can get the point. Go back to video 1. Start at the first second of video 1, watch it all the way through, and so on and so forth. All right? Quit being lazy. Okay? Also, this is more important, probably. More important, I will say, as far as I can see. Go to the community tab of this page. This page is only surface. All right, because I am still studying. I mean, as are my teachers are still studying and learning and growing in the spirit, right? But I am new to this. All right, I am new to this. There are teachers that are more experienced. All right, how do you tell the correct teachers from the wrong ones? The doctrine. There's only one doctrine. There's only one. And if one goes off from the scriptures, it's off. It's off. All right. So go to the community tab of this page. Go to these other teachers that are on that tab. Listen to them. All right. Your understanding might be further along than mine. Go there. Get more. All right. They guide you. All right. They guide you in this truth. Go there. Listen. And then go study. All right. Build yourself up. Allow your spirit to grow. Get this water. Okay. And grow. Or you can be uprooted. You will be uprooted by the Lord, because you aren't what he planted. right? So the warnings have gone out. They are still going out, but just know that when you hear a thing, you're responsible for it. So we warn you so that the blood is off our hands. It is on you now to move forward in this. Okay, it's not on us. It's on you. You cannot blame uh, anyone else. You actually can't blame anyone else for you following them. Okay, you can't blame anyone else for you following them. You can't blame anyone else for you not following them. If the Lord is the most important thing to you, if you profess that the Lord loves you, or if you profess that you love the Lord, which I rarely hear, I keep hearing how much the Lord loves you, but I don't. I mean, I keep hearing about how the Lord is so much love, but I don't see or hear anyone else acting on their love for the Lord, except for a very few, a remnant. Okay, but if you love the Lord, and actually it depends on if the Lord loves you enough to actually love Him, you will do these things. You will go read up. You'll grow in spirit. You'll study. You'll walk in this way. Like I said before, filter yourself through the scriptures. Go back and see what path you are walking, especially after hearing the truth. All right. So let's try this again. Psalm, the 83rd chapter in the Good News Translation. The heading says, A prayer for the defeat of Israel's enemies. All right. It says, O God, do not keep silent. Do not be still. Do not be quiet. Look, your enemies are in revolt, and those who hate you are rebelling. So if you say you love the Lord, right, and you're doing things contrary, what did it just say right there? Those who hate you are rebelling. So you don't actually love the Lord, man. This world has taken you if you are rebelling against the Lord, all right? Verse 3, they are making secret plans against your people, right? I said this world is taking you. So the kings of this earth and the people joined to them, all right, are making secret plans against the Lord's people. Okay, they are plotting against those you protect. Come, they say, let us destroy their nation so that Israel will be forgotten forever. And like I said, Israel is a people before it is a place. And the big secret, the biggest, the reason why all these distractions are happening is the biggest secret in the world is what? That Israelites are who they are, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and then another mystery is that it isn't about skin tone. We were scattered into all places of the earth. All right, now with that being said, probably the biggest secret of them all, telling by the world's reaction, is that the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, Yahushua, right, is and looks like a so-called black man. That is the biggest secret for a minute. That's getting blew out the water though. Now, who are his people? That's another secret. The world just cannot handle this truth, man. So the biggest secret is not nothing about no aliens or nothing like that. As a matter of fact, so-called UFOs are chariots of the Lord. If they talk about one crashing or being shot down, that's not a real chariot of the Lord. You can't touch these. You cannot touch these vehicles. There's nothing that this world is going to be able to do when it comes to the Lord coming back with these chariots and his angels. You lost your mind. These people are lying, man. They've been lying from the beginning. That thing is a blessing to them, to be able to lie and fool the entire earth, except for the remnant. I mean, and they did that for a little bit, but it's not going to end up that way. We are coming back to life, coming back to remembrance. Their lies are not holding up. So let me start at Psalm 83, verse 5 in the Good News Translation. They agree, or verse 4, I'm going to start back at 4. Come, they say, let us destroy their nation, so that Israel will be forgotten forever. They agree on their plan and form an alliance against you. The people of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the people of Moab and the Hagrites, the people of Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek, and of Philistia and Tyre. Assyria has also joined them as a strong ally of the Ammonites and Moabites, the descendants of Lot. Do to them what you did to the Midianites and to Sisera and Jabin at the Kishon River. You defeated them at Endor, and their bodies rotted on the ground. Do to their leaders what you did to Oreb and Zeb. Defeat all their rulers as you did Zebah and Zalmunna, who said, we will take for our own the land that belongs to God. Does that sound familiar? Verse 13, scatter them like dust, O God, like straw blown away by the wind. As fire burns the forest, as flames set the hills on fire, chase them away with your storm and terrify them with your fierce winds. Verse 16, cover their faces with shame, O Lord, and make them acknowledge your power. May they be defeated and terrified forever. May they die in complete disgrace. May they know that you alone are the Lord, supreme ruler over all the earth. All right, that's it for the Good News translation reading of Psalm, the 83rd chapter. Hopefully this comes through as sincere and edifying. All right, so with that, like I say, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors again to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And again, shalom to the other sincere followers of this truth. Shalom.